There was no challenge, and the trend continued tonight. The SEC ran up the score against the ACC. Here in night two, Alabama silences the Dean Dome in North Carolina. Mississippi State makes an absolute statement against number 18 Pitt, and we got an instant classic in Cameron Indoor between Auburn and Duke. Let's recap it all in tonight's rebound edition of the Hoops Southbound Show. So Kim Palm had the challenge on Black Friday 12-4. Maddie agreed with it and said, yeah, the SEC is going to win this thing 12-4. I gave an extra win and said 13-3. And then the result did us even one better. 14-2 was the final tally in this year's SEC ACC challenge. Absolute dominance from the conference this year, and a year that the SEC has brought in massive, solid transfer classes, elite freshman talent, and has retained quite a bit of talent as well. It's nothing shocking really here when you consider that we are right now having an absolutely historic year this year in the SEC. This is going to be a very solid year, and this result just speaks for itself again. Let's jump into some of these results because we had some excellent games for certain teams tonight, and we had some classic ones on top of that. Let's start out in the Tar Heel State in Chapel Hill. 94-79, it goes to Alabama. You could hear Roll Tide inside the Dean Dome. First off, I'm not going to take anything away from Alabama here, but holy cow, North Carolina caught a case of the Maui hangover that they just could not shake in this one. Looking at the numbers in this game, you would not believe this is a top 10 offense in KenPom. At one point, North Carolina was 2 for 21 from three, and they had one wide open three that they shot. I can't remember who took it, but this thing was a good foot and a half under the rim when it got there. The Tar Heels shot abysmal in this game, very rough. I'm not trying to take away anything from Alabama. Their defense played extremely well, but wow, it was a poor performance from North Carolina. It had to be their worst offensive performance of the season thus far. Now, it looked like Alabama was straight up about to run away with this game, but Grant Nelson committed his fourth foul a little bit late, and Carolina got this opportunity to kind of start getting within striking distance of the Tide. But let's highlight the things that Alabama did really well. They closed this game out, and they made sure North Carolina did not have an opportunity to get back into this one for sure. Then additionally, this team shot more effectively from the floor overall. Alabama moved the ball exceptionally well tonight. The assist numbers back that up, and the rim protection was very good from Alabama. We saw some solid defense from the Tide. The Tide won the defensive glass as well. The Tide looked all right tonight, but this is a team that still has plenty of room to keep growing offensively through this season. We're still not seeing those proficiency numbers that we know they're capable of. This team was still a little bit below the expectation there of shooting from three. We're expecting a team that shoots somewhere around 37%, and they're just not there yet. A couple more times working on the offense, it can get there for Alabama. It's still early in the season. For Mark Sears, we're also waiting for him still to break out into that next level and for him to get closer to those numbers. But tonight, for Mark Sears, he had a really good night, and we don't want to take anything away from him because he was successful and he found other ways to be successful than just a 40% three-point shooter. He struggled from three tonight, but he was effective in getting to the paint, passing the ball. He found different ways to get involved in this game and get his teammates involved in this game. But one player I really want to shout out into this one that I really saw a big improvement in his game tonight, that was Clifford Omori. Omori was 3 for 6 from the floor. He had 2 blocks, 5 rebounds, and he was plus 25 in the plus minus. It was a better game from him. And additionally, he didn't get into foul trouble. And that gives you the opportunity. Availability is one of the best abilities that are out there, and you had him as an option to help you close out this game. If Alabama can start cleaning the glass just a little bit more and limit opponents' possessions, he's going to be a bigger threat with him out there on the court, and he's going to help this Alabama team quite a bit going forward. Good game from Clifford Morey, good game for Alabama, and a very, very quality win for this team. This is continuing to move in a good direction. They still got some challenging games ahead, but we're very excited to see how if the Tide can keep going forward and how much they improve after this game. Moving on, holy heck, State. Mississippi State came in with one goal in mind, and that was to beat the crud at a number 18 Pitt. Mississippi State in this game beats Pitt 90-57 in this one. 47 points in the first half, 43 in the second half. Pitt didn't get above 35 in either half tonight. It was an excellent, excellent game in this one. Mississippi State got out on a 22-7 run in the first half, and that gave them a ton of space to play comfortably and just win this sucker. They went into the locker room with 25 made field goals, shot 56.8%, and had like 30 rebounds, and were just dominant there in the first half, and it set them up. And it was only about to get worse. They went on run after run after run, and Pitt had no answer. Honestly, State just hit them in the mouth, and Pitt could not get off the mat. Mississippi State was looking like they were going to put up a 40 burger in the spread there at the end of the game. Excellent performance from Mississippi State. When you look at the scores here, they went 57.8% from the field, knocked down 7 threes. State won the glass by 22 rebounds. They won the offensive glass +2 and +20 on the defensive side. This team moved the ball better than Pitt, +10 in assists, and then also picked up +4 on blocks. Mississippi State really getting the job done. 52 points in the paint. Pitt only put up 14 points. That was it from the paint from Pitt. It was an excellent game. 11 fast break points as well for Mississippi State. And when you look at the box score in this one, Mississippi State, we got to give props to Michael Nwako. 18 points, went 7 for 9 from the field. And Josh Hubbard put up 12 points, had 4 assists in this one, going 5 for 12 from the field. And then Keyshawn Murphy coming off the bench. Big night for him. 20 points, 4 for 4 from the foul stripe, goes 8 for 10 in this game, and 7 rebounds. Solid performance from him. And then another big performance off the bench, 10 points for Claudell Harris tonight. Mississippi State was excellent. They got a big win. Number one, this is going to be a statement win for all the people who vote and everything else in the AP poll and whatnot. And then additionally, this is a resume win. This is a resume win. Pitt was ranked number 18 in the country. They are a team that's expected to do well in the ACC this season, a team that's likely got a chance to make the tournament. Pitt's a good basketball team, and to beat them like that, that's a statement in a lot of different ways. Really, really good win for Mississippi State this evening. Let's go to the big one. We got an instant classic in Cameron Indoor. Auburn coming off a great run there in the Maui Invitational, coming away as champs, faces Duke, who is looking for a big-time win that matches the talent they have on this team and the expectations that Duke fan base has. And they delivered in this one, both teams. This game was a classic. Auburn came out to start this game, won the tip, and immediately started drilling shots. It was 13-2 before we even got to the first media timeout. Duke calls timeout to get this team settled in, get things figured out, because Auburn was coming out red hot and was ready to blow Duke out of their own building. Then Duke finally settled into this game, and we had a contest. Auburn's still in control until this kid, you might have heard of him, Isaiah Evans, goes berserk. He hits 4 from 5 from 3 out of nowhere and just gets incredibly open. I would be comfortable shooting some of the shots that he got, and I'm like a 25% three-point shooter when I play pickup basketball. Auburn could not keep tabs on this kid. Isaiah Evans did not play against Kentucky, Arizona, or Kansas, but he could not miss against Auburn, and he was making the most out of the minutes he got there in Cameron Indoor. Then you come into this game late into the first half, and there were more issues for Auburn than just one kid who was lighting you up. Auburn had foul trouble in this first half. Broome picked up 2 fouls. Cardwell picked up 2 fouls. Johnson picked up 2 fouls. And then Bruce Pearl says, I trust my guys. He just leaves Johni Broome and Johnson on the floor in this. Luckily, they don't pick up additional fouls, but fouls would be a concern later on in this game as well. Going into the second half, Duke takes the lead into the second half, but we have this huge momentum moment in the second half. Cardwell got absolutely messed over on a really bad decision from the refs. So what happens in this play? The foul call was correct, but Cardwell goes up for a block on a fast break. He's trying to block a shot, and it's an attempted block, but it gets upgraded to an F1. It was definitely a basketball play, and I don't know what the refs were looking at here. Refs didn't feel that way, so it ends up to getting Duke to their largest lead of the game to this point by 12 points. After that mistake started compounding for Auburn. Duke goes on a 15-4 run. They're up 52-40. Auburn started compounding these mistakes, and Duke started taking over the glass. Auburn had to get this game under control. They start fighting back and they keep fighting. They're grinding it and they're getting this down to a 2-point game late in the clock, but Auburn could never reclaim the lead in this game. Cameron Indoor made a huge difference tonight. Duke's freshmen didn't have the crucial turnovers they had in neutral site games in the past against Kansas and Kentucky. Auburn, though, even with the loss here, losing in this game, 84-78, Auburn is going to be just fine. That was probably Auburn's toughest test so far this season. And honestly, in this stretch of games, they just the results have been speaking for themselves for Auburn overall. They just got done playing some really, really tough basketball games, have a ton of good wins, and they played a good game tonight as well. This Auburn team is still really darn good and is capable of making a big run in March if they continue to play at this level. Let's go to some of the box score here and some of these stats here. Auburn drilled 10 threes tonight. Duke had 9. Both teams are around 40% from the floor. It was really, really competitive. Auburn actually ends up at the end winning the glass +5, even though Duke had some very, very key moments there late in the game. Auburn moved the ball better, +6 at assists, but the turnovers and the steals, those were kind of an issue. Duke comes away +3 in steals for this game, +1 in blocks, and had 4 less turnovers than Auburn. And then Duke also came away with 16 fast break points in this game. Huge moments there in this one. Points of the paint, Duke actually wins this in the paint, 38-34, but it was very competitive there in the paint in this one. Both teams had double-digit leads in this game. Auburn's biggest lead was 11. Duke's was 12. Really good ball game tonight, as I mentioned. And Johni Broome continues to be an absolute force. He picked up another double-double, 20 points and 12 rebounds. He had 3 assists in this one and 1 block. He did end up fouling out of the game. Could not hit from 3 tonight. Played 37 solid minutes tonight for Auburn. Other good games, Todd Pettiford picked up 20 points as well in this one. And then Miles Kelly had 14 points, while Chad Baker-Mazara had 17. But you got to give your props. We said that Cooper Flagg was going to either Cooper Flagg or Concontempo were one of those two were normally going to get their points. Cooper Flagg picked up 22 points tonight. He had 11 rebounds, puts up a double-double himself, goes 7 for 18 from the field in 38 minutes. And then Isaiah Evans, the kid that just could not stop shooting, ends up getting 18 points and hit 6 3-point field goals made. Huge difference tonight. It was a close game. It was a great game. And that would be the only other loss the SEC has in this challenge. Let's go to some of the other scores around the challenge here and some of the other results here. Vanderbilt picks up a double-digit win against Virginia Tech, 80-64. Texas ends up surviving what was a game that did not need to be this close, 63-59. Only wins this one by 4 by a last-second fast break dunk. North Carolina State had an opportunity to either tie it or go for the win late in the game. Just couldn't get it, turned it over, and then leads to a dunk on the other end for Texas. They end up surviving Raleigh and North Carolina State, and then Florida looked absolutely dominant against Virginia, 87-69. As we said, guys, SEC ends up winning the challenge 14-2. Yeah. Domination from the SEC and what looks to be right now the best basketball conference in the country. Rank everybody. That's my opinion right now, because we got some darn good teams in the SEC this season, and we're going to be talking about all of them throughout the rest of the season. So guys, please like and subscribe to the Hoops Southbound Show. Join us here every night or every week when we have the new show coming out. We're going to do 2 episodes a week come conference play. And we're also doing 2 episodes this week of the main show. This is a supplement for when we have big weeks like this one. But this week was so big with the ACC SEC Challenge that we're going to be coming back tomorrow night, Thursday night, in a full episode. And we're going to talk about what is a great weekend ahead in the SEC. Oh, yeah, you thought the basketball was done? Oh, we got some good ones coming up this weekend. Kentucky is taking on Gonzaga up in Seattle. You've got a big rivalry game in the border war between Missouri and Kansas. And not to mention, Texas is playing UConn in Austin. Really big weekend and so many more games that you got going on. You got Texas A&M, Texas Tech. It's a big, big weekend here in the SEC. So, guys, please like and subscribe. Come hang out with us. Talk basketball with us. How do you feel about the SEC ACC challenge? How do you feel about your team after the challenge this weekend? And heck, we know the SEC is the best conference in basketball right now. Where do you think your team ranks among the SEC? Go ahead and put in the comments section. We love hearing from you guys. And guys, like I said, please like and subscribe. Help us grow this channel. Share it with a friend. Whatever you guys got. It was a big night for all of us. But until next time, we'll see you soon.